Oh, greetings, greetings, every. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Somebody press something in the chat if you can hear me. See something real quick. Hello, 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 hello. Testing, testing. I don't see the thing moving. That's why. Oh, okay. All right. KP from KC5. You say you can hear me. Welcome to BMBBH tonight. This is the Black Manosphere show of the week. Um, and I'm here to bring you a solid message of the truth hurts. Look, guys, these shows usually happen promptly at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, and so on and so forth. But, don't go by my life happens example. Uh, yeah, these are something that we are going to be doing every Sunday at 8, at, I'm sorry, 7, 6 Central, promptly. And whoever the content creator is for that particular Black Manosphere show of the week, please support that guy. Please support. I am episode 4 of this. The first one was the Roger Report live. The second one was LAR Movement. The third one was the Culture Clinician. And I am Kev, and this is Black Men Being Brutally Honest. Long live the habitual line steppers. I already see Phil Brad and KP from KC5 in the chat. Yeah, and tonight's broadcast is sponsored by Greg. Greg is a frequenter of this channel, and hopefully he'll be here sometime tonight. Because usually I go on late Sunday nights. I'm kind of a graveyard shift guy, so this is kind of early for me. So I do appreciate everyone for showing up here tonight. Um, and we're gonna do some brutal honesty. Like I said, the topic of this program tonight is the truth hurts. And let me tell you something. There's some truths that hurt me, and I'm sure there's some truths that hurt you guys as well. Like certain superficial truths. Such as we may not look as good as we did, years back, or we are not as athletic or as agile, as we were when we was younger. Father time is catching up to some of us, especially in my mid age. But my personality is still pretty much there, and I'm doing things that I can to reverse the hands of time. But is time comes for us all. So I want you guys to remember that. But here's what I'm referring to as a truth hurts, and I will go over several things tonight. And I will try not to dive into the gender war dynamic too much because let me give you my first truth that we kind of all perpetuate the gender war. Um, we all don't want a gender war, but the gender war, I guess, if you want to say it exists, between just men and women. Sometimes some of us we need something to be entertained by, and this is something that has been around since I would say the late 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and so on and so forth. But as far as us as a people and black people are concerned, it's become very toxic. It's become extremely toxic. It's something that I believe that we have to work on. But in the year of 2022, we might just be a little bit far gone. And, you know, being on social media, I will always use social media as the prime example. Everyone is like, oh, it's just social media. This doesn't happen in reality. social media is a reflection of our realities. People come here to tell the truth, believe it or not. Things that they have to fake it for, things they have to fake it when they go out there in the general public, and they have to fake it when they go to their jobs. They have to fake it when they go in front of their family members that they don't live in house with. I mean, they don't necessarily fake it with their immediate family, but it's too many places in this world where we have to fake it. And coming to social media is where we get very, very real about it. And a lot of us do not want to realize that truth right there. Like they'll swear up and down that they come to social media to fake it, but hey, you know what? This is how you guys really feel. And this is why a lot of you guys, you come in here, you use fake names, you use avatars, and I don't blame you guys for using avatars and fake names, because we as a people, we are very low down to each other. We can't just leave it at a conversation, and it, we can't just leave it at this person was right, maybe I was wrong, I need to go back and self-reflect. No, we have a people that want to win too fucking much, and it's sad. D Scott, what's going on, D Scott? Good to see you. So look, guys, if you come into this broadcast, please hit that like button. Likes are for free. It's the freest thing that you can do. It's for the algorithm, and it's a favor to me. As the easiest appreciation to stopping by the stream, and just it gives me a unseen shout out because I can't see who's pressing like. Is just what it is. But if you are new to this channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. And shout out to all of the content creators that make this space so interesting. And I want to let you guys know that Kev appreciates you guys. Um, yeah, but let me get back to the subject matter. The truth hurts. Truth hurts. So if anybody want to type in the chat a truth that hurt them, or just any kind of truth that may hurt other people, I mean, we do it brutally honest here, like we do it everywhere else. I mean, we should do it everywhere else, but we don't. But you come to this channel, you could just say and do whatever the fuck you want to do, except for don't act too crazy, because I will time you out. I will time you out. So, I mean, being timed out is no fun. I don't like being timed out when I go to other channels, but hey, you know what? When you do visit channels, you're at the mercy of this channel. You're at the mercy of their channels. But here's one that, I'm not afraid to say hurts me and triggers me. And we all have something that hurts us every now and again. And we get shamed into the whole "who hurt you" thing, so we don't like to express that, and we don't like to show it. But I mean, that's no good here. That's no good here. This is a platform for black men. Black women can come through. I mean, they're more than welcome. It's not like they're unwelcome, but this platform is this particular uh, YouTube channel is headed by me. So just to give you an emphasis on who controls this. If you want to say, hey, and if you want to be smug and say, well, YouTube is not your platform anyway, then YouTube gives us the freedom to do whatever we want with these platforms, as long as we go by these community guidelines. As long as we don't violate those, we can have a channel on there. So technically, still mine. But here's one truth that I have been afraid of for years, that I have just wanted to reverse. If 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 you guys don't mind me saying it, but I will say it anyway. Black men are disillusioned when it comes to unity. In small groups and in small enclaves, we may have we may have it figured out, but it doesn't mean that every you know everyone is going to follow the beliefs that we follow. It's like there are a small group of black men. All right, brotherly love 215. Thank you for the super chat. Says salute Kev, salute your damn self. I appreciate that. Brotherly love just recently had a birthday, so although I did give him a birthday wish, I'm gonna give him one again. Happy belated, sir. Um, but let me get back to the subject matter. Black men are quite disillusioned as far as unity. And the belief is there are several things that go into this, and it is let me tell you something. It's too easy to use this space as an example because you have many divides and separations, intentional separations, when we as black men should be working together. It's not all about what I want per se, but what's better for the greater good. A lot of people will say, well, who are you to tell us what the greater good is? And how I respond is what we currently got going is not working. It truly isn't. And the sooner we accept that truth, the better. Um, yeah, that is true. KP from KC5. He said the HNIC mindset kills us all the time. Let me put that on the screen. It says the HNIC mindset kills us all the time. Yeah, yeah, it does. Tim Howard 5, what's going on? Um, yeah, I mean, the belief, like, our egos, our egos as black men, our chest beating as black men, it gets in the way of proper decorum. It really does. I mean, for the most part, people who visit this channel and visit this panel, these panels, for the most part, I'm not saying that what I do is 100% effective, or every guest that I've had on this panel has been my favorite people, because I gotta confess, a couple of y'all have a tendency to get on my nerves, but those are people I feel like I can be honest with. But there's a large amount of people that frequent this space. There's a large amount of people that frequent this space. And it seemed like some of the larger, more popular content creators are popular because of fuckery. Now, I'm not knocking anyone's hustle. I'm not doing that. I'm not knocking anyone's hustle. You do what you gotta do to get the bag and make that bread and grow your channel. You do. But my thing is I would implore you not to be a hypocrite when you speak on, and that's for those content creators, when you speak on the problems that face this space, because here's what I see out of very very few content creators, and I'm gonna probably catch some heat for saying this, but and I would not be doing this show if I didn't believe in this space. But I believe that the Black Manosphere as a space can be something great for black men. And I do not believe that it's too late. You have a lot of pessimistic pantywaists that will sit up here and say they don't believe that the space can be any better. There's a couple of people that come to this channel quite often and say that same thing, that they don't believe that this channel, I mean, not this channel, because I mean, I'm going to take this channel to the moon and back. Y'all believe that shit. But this space cannot be anything more than a bunch of embarrassing guys that do nothing but cry about women. And the whole cry about women thing, that's another thing. is Jesus Christ. I mean, I know I had Ism on this panel last night, and he was saying that quite frequently. But I respect Ism's opinion to an extent, but I believe he's off when he says all these dudes do is cry about women. Nobody does 100% of anything around here. No one does it, and there is specific, and we have to believe that there are many different lanes when it comes to this space. This space is not monolithic, but this space is full of great ideas. And the fact of the matter is, because black men are so disillusioned, it seems like it's not working out. It just seems that way. What I'm asking you guys to do is to hold on. Just hold on. Just 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 wait a little bit longer. Just wait a little bit longer. I mean, I know some of you have had bad experiences. Alonzo, the All Star advisor, what's going on? Now that's a brother that needs to be promoted to the fullest. See, like I'm gonna put his name because that's the name of his channel, Alonzo, the All Star advisor. If you haven't subbed to that man, please do. Please sub that man's channel. Life insurance expert. He's a life insurance expert of the space, even though he may not agree with a lot of what goes on in the space. Yeah, that's your his right and his freedom to do so. I just don't take the worst out of it and then just say, "Hey, that's the space right there." That's just me. And, people are allowed to be different. So please go ahead and sub that brother. In fact, the next broadcast he does, I'll be sure to look out for so I can put it into my community tab, and I will continue to do so because we have a lot of we have some great minds in this space. We also got some NIGGAs in this space too, but with black men you're gonna have niggas too. But it's like this: we have a severe problem with unity. We have a severe problem with it. And I see it from broadcast to broadcast. American Negro, always good to see you. And I see it from broadcast to broadcast. And let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. Here's one that sinks us all down, and you're not gonna want to admit it. But some of you always, some of you kind of do. Pussy. Pussy, since biblical times, since the beginning of time, has always caused a dissension. If you are a believer in spirituality and God, hell, the first dissension was because of pussy. So, look, let me tell you something, guys. Hood conservative, what's going on? What's going on? If y'all know the story of Adam and Eve, everything was all good till Eve went about her own way and decided to go against God's orders and go against her man and take a bite. Well, let me get that. Let me get that correct. Let me get that correct for you. I didn't say it right. I do apologize to all of you that are watching. Um, God created Adam. This is what supposedly happened. God created Adam. God took a rib from Adam and created Eve, so Adam can have a companion. God told both Adam and Eve, you this is your garden, this is your food. You can have anything in this garden you want, except for what's on that tree right there. Now, if I'm mistaken, correct me in the chat. I'm not above correction. I'll tell you that right now. So Eve talked to this snake. Snake said, "Hey, don't listen to that shit. The fruit from that tree is the best tasting fruit. I mean, God is just trying to keep you from, you know, God is just trying to keep you from eating that fruit right there, you know. But Here's what Eve didn't do. Eve didn't like, okay, I want to try this fruit, but I want to get Adam to come with me. Adam could have possibly did what was called the first simp move. Like, instead of him being the strength and being the leader, he decided to follow Eve and go and defy God. So what he did was they tried the fruit per her suggestion, per her strong suggestion, and once they ate the fruit, here comes mortality. They realized they were both naked, so they covered up immediately, and the snake lost his legs for leading them astray. Yeah, that is the first act that a man did to get led astray by a female, supposedly. Supposedly. And it's very telling of how us men act and carry ourselves from day to day. We can be easily misled by women. You know, instead of being on our purpose, the purpose that God gave for us, which which I see many examples. We are too worried about females. We're too worried about what they're doing, what they want to do, and that is expressed quite frequently in this space by men who are about their business and who are about their purpose. Instead of being about that, we want to see how that fruit tastes. So I mean, it's like we let things like that. We let amongst many things keep us divided as men. We give all of our purpose and all of our resources and all of our thinking and all of our direction to the female. Now, in 2022, in 2022, that's starting to shift a little bit. You know, that's starting to shift a little bit. But the damage has been done. And it's going to take some hard work. It's going to take some patience. And it's going to take some mental discipline to get back to where we need to be. Shit. I know you heard some guys talk about how every time a black man gets in a position of power as far as business and politics, it's it's never that one black man looking out for other black men, getting them in positions of power and getting them in positions of prosperity. They give positions to women. And most of that is because they want to be the HNIC. They don't want another strapping young man to come in and actually become better than them. And then what ends up happening is those women to get together and get rid of his ass or get rid of any purpose or any of the spoils or the trinkets that he has been collecting and keep it for themselves. Let me give you an example. When they were having that meeting at Goldman Sachs to give $10 billion to black women businesses, there were black men at that meeting. There were black men at that meeting. If you don't believe me, Google it. Google is your friend. There were black men at that meeting, and somehow those black men concluded that there were no black men that needed this help. This is why I stress to you guys all the time that you are on your own with this. We all we got. You're on your own. Why didn't the black men speak up? Why didn't the black man say that there's some black men out there that are struggling to get their businesses off of its feet? So with a little help, they may be able to do that. Why? Why was that? Why are there black men that are in Washington right now or have been in Washington and nothing advanced for black people? I give you an example: John Lewis, Elijah Cummings, Cory Booker, Barack Obama. Even though Barack Obama's not ADOS, he was very much considered a black man. Why is that? That's just something I want you guys to think about. That is something I want you guys to think about. And if you don't believe me, you can always confirm this to you for yourself. I've seen it in workplaces that I have worked in where there will be a black man in charge. And instead of him helping all the other brothers advance, he gives this little bullshit sense of fairness to everyone in the building, including the people of other races and the females in particular, and will try to fuck the females. I've seen it. I've seen it many, many, many times. We are a group of men that are inundated not to help each other out. We always want to be better than the other. And it's not something that I take very lightly. In fact, I mean, you can say whatever you want about these B dubs. I'm actually a little envious at their penchant for unity. Shoot, they're almost like they're getting like other ethnic groups. They can hate each other, like they can hate each other's guts. But when it comes to outsiders, and especially when it comes to black men, they come together like Voltron. My suggestion to black men is we about to quickly become the same way. But no, we're not going to do that. Yeah. Ray Hummer, the Hummer Force. What's going on? Why Skinner Man Cave? Good to see you, brother. Is that Ray Hummer, the Hummer Force said, got tired of this YouTuber talking about Star Wars for over an hour. What up, brother Kev? Yeah, they're probably talking about Third Sister Reva. I haven't had a chance to check out that new one Obi-Wan show yet, but I will definitely check it out and definitely check out our entertainment channel, The Black Dimension. That's where we do all of that. Uh, yeah. Here's one facet of what I just got through talking about, and then I might drop the link, and anybody can push back against any and everything that I have said and what I'm about to say. And I know that some of you are tired of hearing about this one particular topic, but your boy Michael B. Jordan, the immediate black man before him was Kevin Samuels. Deep down, we all know what the problem that people had with Kevin Samuels. He was successful in an area where he was not supposed to be successful. He was successful on social media. And we know how we get when people are successful in the areas um, we call not where they're not supposed to be successful. We know how we get. I've seen a few young men that have said that if you are successful on social media, if your lick was YouTube or TikTok or whatever, Instagram, whatever social media you can make your money from, then you are a loser. I've seen young men say that. I've seen older cats say that too. Why are you wasting your time on social media? Hey, some people close to me have asked me, why do I do a podcast? Why do I believe that's important? Or the one that we always get in the space. Oh, why you got to talk about black women? And I just shake my head because, like, when people say that shit, they like a lot of the people that say that haven't even watched any of what I do. For real, for real. They just decide that they pass judgment, or they read some little clipping out of the Root. They read some little clipping out of Lipstick Alley and the Shade Room. And yes, I've been the recipient of the Shade Room and Lipstick Alley indirectly. Yeah, if you ever heard of the Facebook group by the same name, and I mean you understand and realize what's been going on since 2017, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That group's name and the name of this YouTube channel. YouTube is different. You know, I haven't really done anything crazy just yet. I haven't really gone on the crazy rants, the incessant trolling with truth to it, because I unleashed a bunch of harsh truths on our people. I really have. And one thing about our people is we just for some reason we have a problem with the truth, especially the things that we don't like to hear. No, we don't like to hear that black people are at the bottom. Black men aren't exactly at the bottom. We're like, we're like 3 or 4 from the bottom. And the bottom group of people are always saying shit about us. But we take heed to that. And I know somebody's gonna ask the question, well, who's below us? That's something I don't need to tell you guys. But I mean, shit. And I'm gonna say this, although many of us don't want to admit it. If you have a YouTube channel, you want to be somewhere in the area. If you're on here for a little while, you want to be where Kevin Samuels was. When Kevin Samuels died, he was worth $4 million. And I know he couldn't have had that at the beginning of his YouTube career. So, you can't even lie to me about that. Who wouldn't want $4 million? You cap if you say you don't, or you don't want it this way. Man, you could have a successful career. If you're making millions of dollars off YouTube, I guarantee you won't give a fuck about that career. But see, well, one of the big problems is we hate the success of another black man. We think that somehow that overshadows us. It knocks us down a peg or two. Our egos aren't in check. Now, I'm not on the whole D Ride and praise train. I mean, the guy died over a month ago. And yes, I think let's see who said that earlier. Yeah, some a truth when he died came out that I believe many of us did not want to accept, that we were hated by our female counterparts. If you want to use KS as a fleeting example of that, then you go right ahead. You have every right to. It was sad. That what I saw was extremely sad. Praising this man's death on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and on Sunday in church praising God. The same God that the first female Eve turned her back on just to eat fruit off of a stupid tree. And I bet you that fruit wasn't even that good. And a lot of these brothers can't accept the truth that, when we give them when we give them the lead, which a lot of brothers have when they've had the opportunity, it doesn't work out well for us. KS wouldn't allow that to happen, especially not on his platform. And look, KS wasn't the only one on this platform or the only one in this space. There are many smart brothers in this space. There are many brothers who mean well in this space. And those brothers are going to have to step up, including myself, and stay true to. I mean, we ain't got to exactly do it how KS did it. We don't have to. I mean, very few of us are probably gonna constantly make World Star. Very few of us are not gonna have that average at best. I mean, very few of us might have that average at best moment. We might, and even if we don't, there's another moment that we could have that puts us on that level. But I mean, before he died, and I mean, like I understood. I didn't like it at all. In fact, I hated it. That it was even worse than I thought because I'm sort of a pessimistic guy. Hell, I made a post. I said I knew y'all motherfuckers weren't shit. I knew y'all wasn't shit. It does. It didn't really even surprise me like that. It's just that thinking it and seeing it are two totally different things. It was very disappointing to say the least. And there are people to this day, men and women included, that are still trying to play damage control on that. Some of which has disavowed the divestment community. If you watch my boy, shout out to Accountable Commentary, he'll tell you all about that. The answer though, nope. That's okay. You stay over there. You stay steadfast by those views. We don't want you over here. A lot, but like I said, there's a lot of brothers that's still doing damage control because, I mean, simping is something that a lot of these guys have gotten used to. It's just sad to say the least. But hey, here's another one that everybody must be talking about, tired of talking about by now. But there's one aspect of Michael B. Jordan that no one has touched on, and is not so much the same as Kevin Samuels, but is in kind of the same vein. Michael B. Jordan was a successful young black man that has the attention of many of females of all groups, of all races. Just it's just like okay, if you were in a room with a guy that kind of took down your manness, and a lot of us will beat our chest and swear we don't, we're not that insecure. We're gonna feel a certain way about that guy. Say you walk into a party with your homies, see all these beautiful chicks that are around. You might have a chance. You start talking. You start hollering at a few. Hey, what up? What up? Let me get your number. Let's hook up later. Whatever. Blah blah blah. All of a sudden, Michael B. Jordan walks into the room. I don't care if he did just break up with Lori Harvey. Or you did have all these chicks talking all this shit and capping and talking about, oh, she should have did what she did and all this other stuff. If Michael B. Jordan says that he's having a after party later on and invites all of those chicks, They're going. They're going to forget whatever they said to you, and you're going to feel some kind of way. That's a hypothetical scenario. That's a made up scenario. But my point is this: we don't like our egos mess with. We don't. We don't like our egos mess with. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of dudes talk shit about black men who have a better stature and a better status in society on social media is because that's all we can do. I'm not gonna hate I'm not one of these guys that hate on black men. I wish black men all the success in the world. Let me get some shout outs in this chat before I continue. We got Alan, what's going on? Long live, brother. Got Michael G. They chose weak men and raised weak men. Exactly. Hurry up and buy. Salute. Don Calypso. What's going on? And he said, simping is not something guys got used to at black men being brutally honest. It is hardwired into them due to the upbringing by their gynocrat hyena mothers. Mm-hmm. South, Shaolin Fist Khaldun. Peace and protection upon BMBBH, upon the mods, and upon the supporters of this channel in the chat. Of course, we don't have to do things exactly how KS orchestrated his channel. Find a niche and master it. Thank you, brother. Very wise words. Michael G. I regularly advise black men to avoid B-dubs and seek peace and happiness. Yeah, go where you celebrate it. I agree with that. I mean, the avoidance part, that's up to that person as a grown up. I'm different from you. I'm not gonna tell guys to avoid a certain type of woman. I'm not gonna do that. But, I would much rather people find out for themselves because we have all the knowledge and we have all the evidence in the world as to why we should do certain things. Some people just have to learn the hard way. He said, I saw her KS on another channel about 4 to 5 months ago and tell the bros on the channel, said that he wants the black men to take control of and own their own image. Absolutely. Absolutely. And here's why I believe he said something like that because our image has always been shoehorned to everybody else a different way. If you look at the media in 2022 and how black men are portrayed, it is atrocious. The main theme of that, weak and gay. Michael G. B Dubs bred themselves out of Argentina. Read hiding in plain sight. I mean, hiding in plain sight. Black women, the law, and the making of a white Argentine republic. Oh, okay. I'll be sure to check that out. But the thing is, any black man that is successful and that's in a good place and has not been a complete douchebag or asshole, we as black men should be supporting that guy. Granted that it's not taking too much of the emphasis off of ourselves. We should be supporting that guy. A lot of guys that dwelled on that Michael B. Jordan, Lori Harvey thing, they believe that they can do a lot better with Lori Harvey than Michael B. Jordan. I mean, they actually have that crazy idea that they could have alpha their way through it a lot more than he did. Ray Hummer says, my big bro KS is drinking wine with my Lord King Jesus. Michael G, you going off down there. Oh, Mister, what's going on? Oh yeah, we in here. Yep, we are in here. Shoot, we take this banner down. Yeah. But let me remind you to just anyone who's watching right now to go ahead and hit that like button. I will be dropping a link shortly, if anyone wants to come up. If anyone wants to come up. Yeah. Let me show y'all something real quick. Like hold on just 1 second. Cause the reason why I try to talk to like I said, this is a channel for black men. I try to talk to the brothers as much as possible. And we have to honestly realize and understand that we 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 have to be able to accept the criticisms. It ain't just about talking about B dubs. I mean, you can if you want to. I'm not going to be one of these guys that's going to try to shame you out of it. What a peculiar word, shame. Because and I have to tell you guys, I have to tell you, I have to tell you, shaming works on black men. It's a sad reality, but it just does, and it upsets me quite a bit. How can shaming be that effective against us? How can it? But speaking of people who don't want to understand and realize the truth, let me show you this real quick. That I'm sure the truth will hurt this person too. Yeah. See this screenshot I put here? Now, granted, I can find the video and show it to you guys later on in the broadcast. That is, if I'm on, because I might give this one another 30 minutes to an hour. I put this female right here, and yes, that's a female, was talking about things that she expected men to pay for while dating her and in a relationship. She wants to pay for all dates, nails, hair, gas, wax. Wax, huh? Wax what? I know she ain't over there coochie. And to pay her electric bill. Now, see, here's why so many females were mad at Kevin Samuels. If she had went on Kevin Samuels' show with that shit, he'd have said something like, "You done lost your goddamn mind." Shit, any of us. We ain't got to be Kevin Samuels to tell her that shit. Any of us, you done lost your goddamn mind. And some would say that she had to be trolling. Yeah, I mean, I hope so. That would explain a lot. I mean, she went into detail like she was serious. Now, I'm sure the truth would hurt this person too. I mean, sometimes people put themselves in a reality that isn't feasible. That's why they go on little stupid rants and stupid fantasy just like this. I mean, shit. If she finds a brother that does that, congratulations. Congratulations. It is what it is. And let me just say something though. If I was single, I wouldn't. Hell no. I wouldn't even be caught talking to her. I mean, seriously. I mean, like you would say who some of you would say, who are you, Kev, to make be such a harsh judge of character? And then I will tell you, Kev, But the thing is about this is that there are many females out there with that disposition. A lot of them will get this. A lot of them will get this accomplished. Have all kinds of men paying for that shit, but they look a lot better. They look a whole lot better than this one. Okay, I'll stop being mean. No, I'm being brutally honest. Nah. Even if like she were to take off that bonnet, do something with that chia pet on her head, I mean, still put some makeup on. I mean, still wouldn't be that much better. This is like catfish after you find out who was on the other end. You know that show on MTV, Catfish? Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I spent enough time on this, but I mean, for real. But see, here's the thing about that, and this is another unpleasant truth. There's probably someone out there that will do all of that for exactly her. I know y'all tripping in the chat. Let me see what's going on. See, told you, Mister Mister. Thank you for the super chat. He said she looks like the boogeyman checks under his bed for her. That is a good one. Orlando's. In more or less words saying that, if you look like you throw water on her, there'll be more of her. And she looked like she's already eaten after midnight. She got a face only a mother could love. Now, look, if KP from KC5 said, yeah, if that's true and that is precious, nah, hurry up and buy that would be wrong. uh, she likely has a nerve to reject one rare man that would actually jump through her hoops. Don Calypso, the times that we live in, that's probably true. Mister Mister, she got a face for radio. Shit, that shit'll probably come through the speakers. Excalibur, what's going on? Damn, Michael G. They used to tie a pork chop around her neck so the dog would play with her. I don't know. The pork chop might have not worked in that case. But yeah, see, but there's a lot more with that mentality that look way better than that. That is actually getting that shit done. Just think about that. But let me see. Let me check some real quick. See how many likes I have. I got 43 likes. All right, that's a pretty good ratio. But just in case you're watching and one of those likes isn't yours, please go ahead and do so. It's for the algorithm, and likes are for free. Yep, that's right. KP from KC5. Smash that like button. Smash that like button. Now, let me go ahead and drop this link. See if anyone wants to come up. Because, I mean, there are just some things that, Art Newstall was on the channel last night, and he had mentioned something that was very true. It was very true, and it was a sad reminder of something that I had. He was telling me about this situation. He was telling me that, he's from Los Angeles, and even in the grittiest neighborhoods, which I believe he hung out in when he was younger. Or he's from some part of California. I don't know. You either say Los Angeles or the Bay Area. He said, in even some of the most toughest of neighborhoods, If a white guy went in there and you did not know who he was, they wouldn't get touched. They wouldn't get touched. Nobody would cross them. Nothing. They'll barely get anything said. Remember that? You remember that scene in Menace to Society where dude came in and said, "I want this particular car. See if you can get it for me." Kind of like that. But in reality, ain't nobody finna do nothing to that guy. I'm not saying or suggesting that if a strange white guy enters your neighborhood that you should go ahead and touch him up or anything like that. I'm not suggesting any form of violence against anybody just because they look different. But what I'm saying is, if you are a black guy and you go in a strange neighborhood full of black folks and it's kind of a criminal element in there, I hope you're strapped. I hope you got some form of protection because we will fuck each other up in a second. And that's sad. That's one sad thing that look. If I could change certain things, I would. If I could change certain things, that'll probably be one of them. But it's just one of those things where it's just one of those things where we've been so inundated to be against each other. And yeah, I believe upbringing had a lot to do with it. I believe who what environments were provided for us had a lot to do with it. Those would probably be one of those things I could change. But, you know, those are one of those truths that hurts. Michael G said, black men, the only space without a black woman is the gym, is my sanctuary. Are you talking about working out or are you talking about working out or are you talking about playing basketball? What's going on, Ed? We got Edward Anderson in the building.
Yeah, what's up, man? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. I just wanted to show my support, the Manosphere show of the week, get this thing, off the ground. And obviously you had in the title The Truth Hurts, so I had to show up.
Word, word. So, what are your thoughts? I know you got some.
Well, I mean, I just popped in. I made sure I shared the video, so I didn't know, it's very ambiguous saying the truth hurts. I mean, I'll say this. Keep it gender neutral for now. We'll see how long that goes. I mean, the truth is something you got to remember. We live in a kill or be killed world, especially in the United States of America. Everybody's trying to get over on it, somebody else. Everybody's trying to con, economic Darwinism, and telling somebody the truth is something like, for instance, you used to be able to count on the fact that at least you had some members of your family that'll tell you the truth because they don't have anything they're necessarily trying to get from you. Like, I'll give you a perfect example, just to apply it to, like, let's say women, for example. There's a certain value in non-sexual masculinity that you get from your father, your brothers, where they're going to tell you what you need to know, absence of trying to tell you what you want to hear in order to fuck you. There's value in that. Look, and because if you don't have like a north star, you're gonna be a compass that's gonna be spinning basically in circles. And it's the same thing for dudes as well. The difference with dudes is because we live in a we're in a situation, whether you're black, white, but this is definitely true for black men, that life is gonna tell you the truth, regardless of what the fuck you want to believe. And very few dudes are in like these positions to where they can just be absolutely deluded from shit. Because eventually you gonna get over. You know, your failures are your biggest lessons. And as a man, you don't get a lot of times at bat, especially when you're a black man. So black men don't really have the luxury. Black men are going to be told the truth one way or the other. There's no benefit in lying to men until they're like 50 years old and they have no sexual marketplace value, and then you pull a carpet up under them because you have no use. There is a value in saying that for with women from the society. So my point is, a lot of people perceive the truth as this thing that you're supposed to like get around and try to put on the carpet. I've always been the type of person to meet that head on, because once you know that and you can get past that, then it really can't do anything to you. But unfortunately, we don't live in a mature society as well as a black community like that. So here we are, you
Hmm.
know.
Well, I guess my disposition came from the fact that, a lot of people that were in my life growing up did not mind telling me the truth about anything.
Same.
And one thing that I had to learn was to suck it up. Man, suck it up. It just wasn't no choice for me. I mean, what I was gonna do? Well, what the only thing I could do is reflect on what they were saying, and if it deep down I knew whether it was true or it was false. Now, if it were false, if it were just some shit where people were trying to be petty and just trying to be hurtful and everything, and it wasn't necessarily true, then I would take it that way.
And,
But if it was the truth, then it was just the truth, and there was nothing I could do about that.
yeah, and another thing is, it, you should never lie to yourself. And that's where the shit has really gotten goofy. It's where people literally look for places that allow them to delude themselves. If everybody else is lying to your ass, the mirror is supposed to be the one thing that didn't lie on you. I mean, what was that? Cinderella, or was it Snow White? Yeah, that was the lesson I pulled from that shit. You say mirror, mirror on the wall. That mirror told the truth, because it's like, what the fuck you gonna do about it? And you're in a situation, with social media and other things, where people actually gravitate towards people that lie to them. I call it the lie to me economy, and that's one of the values in it, where people look for people that are what I call a credible witness in their minds. So let's say, like, take Derek Jackson for example. Derek Jackson is a guy that is, let's just, a pre-qualified nigga for a lot of these women. Obviously, the results are speaking for themselves as far as his audience and stuff like that. So he's a credible guy that if he says it's okay, oh, it's credible. Him being married only helps. Now, obviously, that's been broken a little bit given his scandal a while back. But even still, you look for what he still does the same numbers on Instagram that he always did on YouTube. So that didn't necessarily carry over. That's how much people valued it. The pastor has traditionally been that, in the rise of the prosperity gospel, and shit is crazy. It's all about money. And even another thing I'll say too is, even if it wasn't somebody in the family, let's take marriage. Like, my views of marriage is really forged by black men that are married. A lot of people don't realize that. Like, I know plenty. I'm talking about black men that are not in what I would call submissive relationships with their women. I'm talking about dudes that they got a handle on how to deal with black women. For the most part, like, they were either kind of pre-qualified, but also kind of red pill. So they kind of know how to deal with it, and they have attractive wives, black wives that are ADOS black. But at the same time, they'll tell you, look, man, if I get a divorce, that's it. I'm going non-black. And they wouldn't even say it out of anger. They would say it just from a pragmatic standpoint. I
Mm,
know some dudes that used to be in the Nation of Islam that said that, and they're not necessarily so. None of guys that, if I were to present the older dudes, if I were to present them to you, they would have no issues as far as like people trying to look for holes in their situation, or like their try to black person card, so to speak.
mm,
So, and I've heard plenty of black men say, man, don't. Not necessarily my age, but like older than me. Like, don't do it. Like, yo, you got time. Don't get married young. Don't do it. And these are dudes that are married. That's why I find it so funny when people try to frame it like, people. I'm like, yo, I know what's being said out here, and all these people ain't from North Carolina. I know what's being said. Y'all can front if y'all want to. And my point is, I took value in that. And like I said, people want to be lied to, and then turn around. But here's the thing: they want to be lied to, and then turn around and then blame you for lying to them when they when we all knew what they were telling you was a lie, because they want that plausible deniability. And that's what it is. And you got dudes like that too. There's a lot of dudes like that. And like a lot of dudes that are fucking, regardless, they're broke, but they want to lean on the game is everything shit. I'm saying, yo, that bitch is telling you what you want to hear because she's getting what she can get out of you. But trust and believe, when she gets mad at you, she gonna throw that shit right up in your fucking face. That's they first go to. So don't believe just because, like, again, delusion. And you're in a right now. This is the last time in history to be acting like that, because people are gonna sniff that out and use that to get what they need to get out of your ass. They are. They gonna look. That's the con artists, matchstick men. They look for that. They look for where your bullshit is, and that's where they go.
Yeah, so you think this black on black is a gambit, huh? Like you
When you say black on black, what do you mean? Like black on
like
black crime, black on
like
black.
well black love, pro black, trying to, saying that, we need to be unified as a people. You
That's complicated because that depends on who that. Because do I believe? I used to say this. You got Anthony Brian Logan, and then you got Brandon Tatum. Brandon Tatum's a true believer. Anthony Brian Logan believes it, but he has his limits. He know when he's selling it, and when he don't even believe it. Versus and so my point is, a lot of people believe in black love, like they really believe it. But then you have a minority of people that say they believe it, but they really using it to make money. And then that's men and women. They do that. Like, plenty of men, or they have their own motivations to want to do that. Because you got to think about it. Like, you have people, and I'm not gonna start rattling off names. I just say that because they're not really tied into what we're talking about, but it's a good metaphor that people know. When you look at, like, for instance, social media, you have people that they're in the business of making content, and they make content that's going to drive a lot of numbers. Now, granted, they may have some investment in the content they make. I'm not saying they completely don't believe it, but they're saying it. But it's like a matter of degree, so it depends. But I will say, as far as black love is concerned, black love, there is no such thing as black love outside of a social contract. And the problem is, I measure love by sacrifice. And the question I would ask you is, what do black women sacrifice to be a black man? Exactly. I mean, and you're married. Exactly. I mean, so but think about it. Is that not? And I came up with that. Nobody told that to me. Does that not make sense? How much do you love me? How much are you willing to sacrifice? I mean, that goes both ways. Now, men can definitely go get. And it's kind of like a bank trying to get a house, saying we need to show your sources. Men can definitely go get the sources of what they done did. They don't benefit them, but benefit the other party. Now the question is, what can the women say other than they had kids with you? Truth be told, you did that because that's what the fuck you wanted to do. Because you have the ability to not do it.
Yeah. I wanted a little person that walked around and came from me. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I mean, no, absolutely. But my point is, women are in power in this country to make that decision on their own. Meaning, at the end of the day, if your wife wanted to abort a kid, it ain't nothing you can't make her not do it. Now you can threaten to leave her and leverage that way, but that's completely her choice. So any kids out here, they're had because they want them. Men can argue that's not true, but for them, but women definitely can't argue that. And we can show statistics on our women in particular that they definitely use that lever when they want to. So my point is, that's like the easiest thing they could do. But we don't live in a post Roe v. Wade society yet. So that argument that I had your kid, you know, So ain't necessary. They can't really, but that's the traditional thing they could say. Other than that, what else are they really? Are they really? I mean, for real though, like they don't. It's so not weighted. And Judge said something funny. Judge said, "Well, men know they're getting the bad end of the deal. It's just a matter of degrees, and are you getting what you want out of it? And are the losses acceptable, so to speak?" And that's for every black man individually to make. Like Judge ended up paying child support and raising his kid just so he can live with him. A lot of black men wouldn't do that. A lot of black men would be like, if you're gonna play games with me, that's a check. But I can understand logically why he did that, you know,
Mm.
because I mean, shit, so my point is, as far as Black Love goes, I saw that. That was a good show with Ike. It really was. I didn't look at it, but I've seen clips of it jumping in and out. So I'll probably look at the whole thing. But yeah. So the problem is there's no social contract, and Black Love is used as a mechanism to not talk about a social contract.
Mm.
They want to keep men in this subjective state, in this state of you do, but never. You can't lead if you don't have a sense of where you're going. And love is that thing, is like the universal thing designed to kind of keep these niggas not grounded in anything.
Mm.
Um, and we need to have some real adult conversations about Black love and get out of the Disney fucking bullshit. And that includes the men too.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
tired of these overly look. I like romance. I understand that, but I've learned how to keep that shit under in check to where I'm not taking advantage of with that. You got too many niggas that they fall in love with fall in love. I'm like, fuck that R&B music, fuck that Jagged Edge, Let's Get Married, that Jodeci, Do You Believe in Love? You niggas need to what they call it, exercise yourself from that shit, because that is not the bitch you fucking with today.
Yeah. So, yeah, we had that R&B conversation a couple weeks back.
Oh, I was wilding out because we were going through all of them. Mario Winans, Donnell Jones. We were like it's when you really think as a 35-year-old, when you really think about that, that shit was complete brainwashing for the most part. When you really, really think about it, like all through your imprinting years, like mentally, that shit, like they showed an image that for the most part was not there. And I don't give a damn about what nobody. And I understand the business behind it, but when you like think about it, Jagged Edge, we ain't getting no younger, so we might as well do it. What does that mean? That you don't know why? You just doing it. Let's get married. Like I mean, like when you really read the lyrics, fuck what these hoes are writing. Look at what the niggas was writing too.
Oh man, shoot, that might be more our fault than theirs.
I mean, I'm not. Look, I'm not here. That ain't no. That ain't the women's fault. That is the dude's fault. You're right. That's because that shows you how diluted we are. Now, granted, people can say, "Oh, they're making music for the women. The women deal with that." I understand that part, so I understand that. But my point is, nobody debriefed that shit. Where was the debriefing for what that shit really was? And then it was even worse in the late '80s. Oh baby, I'm dreaming. It was worse then. You starting to have them motherfuckers
Shit.
are on the suspect side.
I mean, yeah, look at all the movie soundtracks.
The
Like,
only nigga that said some red pill shit was Bobby Brown. And you see how they don't like his ass. He was the only one that if you listen to his like they shit, not just Bobby Brown, but they shit, they were saying at least some balanced shit. And then guess what? Bobby Brown reputation is trash. The only one of the only ones, other than the gangster rap that was saying some shit too, but then that would be seen as misogyny. So it's like either you're gonna listen to the misogynistic shit or you're gonna listen to the all the way R&B shit. It got to the point where Mario Winans talking about Joe was in it. Joe was in and out. Um Joe, it depends. So my point. You could do a whole series on that shit. You really could.
yeah, absolutely.
But
Uh,
yeah.
let me ask you a question. I mean, this is a little off the path a little bit. Do you believe that shame works on black men?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, well, they have this little thing that now that's called SBE, but I did this show, Sign Language versus SBE, and people were actually in belief that SBE was a worse problem than sign language.
Shame taps into two issues that black men have, or at least
Yeah.
vulnerabilities:
Yeah.
guilt and ego. So when you emasculate a nigga, what are you doing? You're attacking his ego.
Yeah.
Now with a dude, he could, if you do that in person, you get your ass whooped, or at least there's gonna be a fight, or if you might get shot. So, you got to hedge your bets on that. Even though there's ways to do it, we do it in this space, talk about where your bitch is at, blah, blah, blah. If you're a woman, they can get away with that a little bit more. Like, even you got older women doing it, younger women. I had one chick, I was on art install shit. She tried to do some slick disses. I let them go because she was older, even because I didn't want to just get her on every little thing she was saying. But she said my connection to black women must be different than like it was 9 other dudes on the panel, than all the other 9 dudes, because I was keeping it 100 with her. This is an older woman. I was keeping it 100 with her. And
Oh
she
man.
want to ask me, do I got a girlfriend? She didn't say in an attitude or like that, but she want to ask me, do I got a girlfriend? And is they black?
Oh,
And
so
then
trying to.
we created a conversation about why would you even ask that? Because the first thing I asked her was, have you ever qualified other black women that way when they talking shit about black women? Men. She hesitated, then said yes. I said, I know what the right answer is, but the fact you had to think about it tells me all I need to know. Because black women don't ever got to qualify themselves when they talk shit. I can't stand these fucking disclaimers. Notice how the question, you want to know which one's the worst problem. Who the fuck is giving disclaimers before they keep it 100 all the time? Black men or black women? I'm saying some, but not all. I love black women, but you don't hear black women doing that like that. It's like
No, not at
maybe
all.
you hearing like maybe a 10-2 ratio. By the way, what's SBE again?
Shame, blame, and explain.
Are you talking about it's a worse problem as in what the women got to do?
No, I was what I was doing is I was trying to I was comparing I was making an attempt to compare sign language, which is an acronym that and SBE, and the point that I made was both of them are really to target the rhetoric of black men who are trying to explain what the actual problems are.
Yeah. And oh, they said shame, blame, and explain. I mean, the thing about it is black. The problem with the black community is the black community. If the black community is never going to check your women, you're fucked. And black people are trying to find this infinity gauntlet to get around doing that shit. That includes black men. That's the truth. And so what's happening is you're getting a lot of brain drains because people are leaving. Because let's tell you the truth, people can see the truth. Just because people don't speak it out or evangelize it, don't mean they don't see it and they're not gonna act on it. Most niggas are not gonna be on YouTube telling it. Most niggas they just gonna date who they date. They not gonna sit here and argue with you. That's not a that's really not a that's a waste of time and resources, really. Like why? And that's why women will say, well, I don't hear this in real life. That's because people are trying to fuck you in real
Yeah.
life.
Mm-hmm.
Like the point is, what is the point of telling you something? This I've asked women this and they don't have no answers for it. What is the point of telling you something that's gonna piss you off? Even if it's the truth. What's the point? What does a man get from that? And they can't explain that shit because we don't get nothing. Like if we're sitting there actively fucking you, why tell you something that's gonna obviously push you away from fucking you? If we trying to sell you something, why, unless the truth actually assists in us getting money out of you, why tell you the truth when that's gonna make you not want to buy something down? Like that's like seriously though. And so when people say I don't hear this in real life, is of course you wouldn't. Because people are trying to I don't give a I ain't trying to get nothing from you on the line. And the niggas that have the time I'm telling you something you want to hear, trying to low key fuck your ass in your DMs. I'm not. I'm telling you what the fuck it is.
Now, here's what I said earlier. Here's what I said earlier. People come to social media to tell the truth. They don't really say this on the outside. They come here to say stuff that they can't say at their jobs. They can't necessarily say at their family gatherings, and or they'll have family members look at them like they're crazy, or you can't really break that programming that you would get from a that you would try to talk to a family member from. Like people come to these spaces to hear an actual truth, to talk about things that they can't talk about around normal fucking people. but we best believe that this shit is real. Like people try to put that bullshit out. It's just social media. It's just social media. No, no, no. You motherfuckers are telling how you really feel.
I just, Barack Obama, President Barack Obama, and President Donald Trump won on off of social media. So motherfuckers can talk that bullshit all they want to. I mean, the reality that this is what because I've had these conversations in real life. I've had these conversations about, and I don't shy from them. But I may have them a little bit differently, but I tell them, I say, look, regardless of what you want to think, the real world is a real world, and if you want to pretend like the shit is Candyland, go ahead.
Mm,
But just understand that when musical chairs I said this years ago, when musical chairs happens and you gonna be looking for somebody to help your ass and wondering why they ain't there, just know, and that's the saying, look at where we at right now. So I always tell people, look, I'm not here to convince you of nothing. I'm here to tell you water's wet. If you want to argue with me with that, or if I tell you you can't drink salt water, you gonna say, look, watch, go ahead. I'm not about to stop you. Like that's not I look for people that understand what common damn sense is. Not necessarily for y'all convincing because and they say, well, you're just no, I'm not. The environment is gonna teach you. The
mm,
environment. Like and this is why I always come back to these Z's. These Z's are not having these conversations. They're not. Like I was like on Ike's shit, Jessica X and Donovan got into it a little bit. And they were talking, Jessica X was trying to talk about how women are having less sex. The younger women are having less sex than the older women.
for real?
That's it, yeah. And I'm like, yo, I don't care. I didn't even need to look up the stats. Just look at the STD stats. You can look at a lot. Like, are you serious? And I mean, and so probably with that, and so maybe the only way you could try to pull that off is if you could try to say, okay, there's a certain percentage of women that are having less sex. Or you trying to say that because women are having less kids, that means they're having less sex. But the point is, this idea that women are having less sex than like the older generations of women. If you want to say that, go ahead. If you but at the end of the day, all these dudes see on the ground is a whole bunch of bitches that don't know how to bond with nothing. They
Mm,
can't bond like that, and that's the issue. The reason a body count matters is because your ability to bond matters. So and here's another thing. The problem is the reason that was an issue in the past is because women got married a lot younger and had a lot less sexual partners. So
mm,
versus now, they're getting married later and they're usually having more. So their ability to, and also even if you're getting older, you're more set in your ways then. And then you still expect a man to make this overwhelming investment in you when that's not how that works. And I mean they ended up kind of agreeing on something because they met in the middle. But which that's the part I saw at the end. But my point is, you would only make that statement. You can't because she said something about just because they're not having less they're having sex less doesn't mean they're still not virtuous. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Uh, but the thing about it is, men are having a lot less sex in comparison to what older generations of men did than with women. And I mean, come on, man. But this is the argument, and Dana was one there. And the point of those arguments is to try to fog up the truth. Is to try to make it so dudes are questioning shit that they already see. And again, women. I mean, dudes have to start thinking for themselves. The thing about it is, I say this: if you fuck what I say, think for yourself. And if more black men start thinking for themselves and really start questioning why they think what they think, regardless of what I say, we'll probably move in a lot more direction. Too many niggas on cruise control, yo. They really
mm,
are.
mm-hmm. Yeah, just yeah, yeah. That's really the best policy is to think for yourself. Like I may say some things that I may be wrong about. And then you go out here in this world and apply it. Then you'll come back to me. Just go with your first mind at
You know,
the end of
you
the.
know what, you know what kills me? People,
Yeah.
there's somebody in the chat that said, why don't I have a woman? You mean why don't I have a long term girlfriend? Is that what you're asking?
Oh, I see it.
I love how people say that shit. Like, why don't you have a woman? So I guess 1 plus 1 is 8 because I don't have a long term girlfriend. Because am
But
I fucking out here? Yes. If you must know. But niggas think they being cute. And it's like for real though. And they come in here as if our space is not a dating space. That's the thing that kills me. And you start applying dating coach shit to what I'm saying. Like, I'm not a dating coach, never claimed to be. If you can't get black women don't have to pick you for any reason. I'm not like I don't understand why people try to bring that shit up or they're just trying to be cute and they really need to just be blocked. I got a question, Kevin. As a married man that has a woman, is there anything I've said so far that you disagree with?
no, I mean you say it you say it in your way, but I mean for the most part, you're actually being factual.
Exactly. So I guess I need a married guy. Yeah, I can get Black Huru on here. 'Cause Black Huru be talking more shit than I do half the time. You know, since
Man.
since we need married men to qualify or men with verified girlfriends to qualify what I'm saying. The water's wet.
Here's what I don't do, man. I don't like if you are a black man. That's pretty much all you need from me because you have the black experience. You have the experience with our people to be able to speak, and that's what it is. All these disclaimers, all these trying to disqualify just because you might not necessarily have a long term girlfriend or a wife. Like I would say a lot of things that people would try to push back against, and they'll try to. I'll tell them, well, I'm married, so fuck you, and then they'll be like, first thing they'll say is, well, are you married to a black woman? And I'm
Yeah,
just,
it's the moving the goal, and we know how childish you're being. Is moving the fucking goalpost, and then and shit like that. You should just tell them what you should do just to fuck with them. I'm sure you've already done this because great minds think alike. Is let's say I'm not. What you gonna say? Because I'm curious. And then they dumbass not even catching the fact that you said let's say I'm not, meaning most likely you are. They'll just start. Well, see, I am. So now what the fuck you gonna say? For real. Because that's how dumb motherfuckers are. Like, for real. And here's the thing. You could be not married to a black woman now, but guy be like Jesus, got kids with a black woman. So it's like, it's this thing that people want. Again, it's all designed either for attention, because the dude Orlando for our time out talking about, huh? And I'm like, okay, you just being childish. So you're going to get treated like a kid. You're the grown man's table, but you want to talk like a kid, so you're gonna get treated like a kid. Or you got people that are being disingenuous, and that is the problem. That's why shit doesn't move anywhere, because you're not approaching this to actually solve it. People are approaching this to try to win an argument and a narrative, and I'm like, that's the game. I'm not playing with you. Do what you want to do. So when people sit here and be like, "Oh man, you haven't shown your bitch," that's what they used to say Obsidian for the longest time, and this motherfucker done had the chick the whole time. Let y'all think that like idiots, which I should have taught y'all something.
yeah.
Like for real though. Like y'all really be believing that the little bullshit thing you saying is the reason why, or if I get that, then this is not this. I'm like, that's not how that works. And a lot of y'all create a lot of blind spots doing that. Because life ain't gonna give a damn about what y'all doing with that. It moves at the speed that it wants to move. And a lot of y'all are finding that shit out right now.
Yeah, but let me shout out these super chats.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Marco Ross. He said support the channel, like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Michael G, he got two super chats. Thank you for your support. He said, "Black men, she wears the hair of the people she support and idolize. She was created on the plantation to destroy black men." Uh, and he also said, "Friends don't let friends marry or date a black woman." Like I said, to each his own. Everybody can have their opinion. I'm not going to condemn or criticize or promote the idea, but just do what you want. You don't have to do exactly necessarily what I say, but I mean, it's due to you know
You a grown ass man.
you're a grown ass man. Yeah.
Yeah, like me, I'm not out here. If dudes that I know, people know in my real life know my thoughts on a lot of stuff. But and if they do this, understand I'm not out here volunteering my opinions to people I know unless they ask me. Because at the end of the day, they gonna do what the fuck they gonna do anyway.
Mm.
So shit. And I got dudes around me that ain't, not, you know. I mean, they ain't like red pill, but they're not on. They're like me. They're not on that. But then some of them are married. I can point to you a lot of good marriages, black marriages. The people my age that I know. Yeah. So it just depends. But at the same time, when I look at like the situation I grew up in, I grew up in a real, not a real, but a conservative situation. When I was coming up, you got a lot of these urban situations where shit was already out there. So, but that's not reflective. See, too many people are trying to look for hope rather than the truth, and
Yeah.
and and they want hope. It's just like when people try to use the exception and try to make that the rule. And I'm like, at the end of the day, you are playing yourself, whether you believe me or not. That's on. It doesn't matter. I mean, I don't. Yeah.
Well, shoot, many people do believe that they're the exception to the rule. Just like with when people say that Michael B. Jordan was a whack ass dude and he didn't have what it takes to keep Lori Harvey. What do you think of something like that? Do you think that dudes are just capping or?
They're stupid because
Uh,
if you're gonna apply that to Michael B. Jordan, then you're gonna apply that to everybody else she's ever dated.
all right.
I mean,
Uh,
for real, wouldn't it like because technically, and this is how dumb people are to say that. And I rarely people have their opinions. I rarely just knock them down like that. I usually will humor it, but you got to think who has Lori Harvey been with longer than Michael B. Jordan?
as reported, nobody.
Exactly. And technically, if the rumors are true, the Michael B. Jordan was thinking about marrying her, so he did a trial one, and she said, "I'm not marriage material." She told him the truth. And
Yeah,
technically, people don't understand. He got what he needed to get out of that relationship. The black chicks are off his back because he was real before he got with her. I remember that they were really because I was getting mad about that. They were really on his ass about you don't date black women. We saw you on a boat with a picture and it wasn't one black woman there. So he made sure he got a very attractive black woman. It wasn't a quote unquote exotical like these insecure chicks say. And he was with her for 2 years. She basically broke it up because she didn't want to take it to the next level. So if he show up with a Latin again, which reportedly he has, what you gonna say? So all these dudes, and by the way, dudes that say that, these are like dudes, because they do the same thing with Will Smith. They game BGS said this. Game is like ugly niggas' way of basically trying to even the playing field. That's really what that. And so when you say Michael B. Jordan, what he had to work his way to be there. I remember him all the way going back to Hardball, the show, the movie with Keanu Reeves. He was a child star there. He had to work his way to be that. And black women didn't give a damn about him till he was Killmonger and Creed. But at the end of the day, like the only thing these dudes are basing that on is what black women do. Notice how when these niggas say somebody is whack or lame, it is 100% based on how black women respond to this guy. Generally, it is, and that's how you know they're that's gynocracy. That's gynocracy 101. You're basically looking for the women to be the judge of your manhood. That is the
mm,
ultimate bitch and hoe shit. I
hell
don't care
yeah.
what you say. And if I ask you, how are you a man outside of what that bitch tells you? Because these will be the same niggas that really will be whooping on chicks. If black women turn their back on these niggas will get angry for
Uh,
real.
yeah, let me make a point about that after I read this super chat. Thank you, D. Scott. Says too many men base their manhood on getting scraps. Those men normally led by those women and police black men. Much love, brethren. Hashtag SYSBM. Yeah, now a lot of those dudes that sit up there and say you gotta have game, you gotta have control, and when you said beat the woman, yeah, they will do that. I mean, I've seen dudes sit up here and say you gotta do the woman like this, you gotta be this way, you gotta smooth your way into it. But then when that woman crosses them and insults them, they'll get louder and more violent than you.
Man, I know niggas. I've seen females very nicely reject a dude, black women. Like, I got a boyfriend, I got this. I done seen some niggas be goofy as hell and walk right up to a chick while she trying to eat. And then they may say something a little more on point, like, can I finish my food or something like that? And them niggas will like, fuck you, bitch. Like, you don't know if he about to slap shit out of her. And some of these dudes, I'm not saying they're all of them, but they'll be the same niggas. And again, you got a lot of dudes that get off on trying to say I'm better than another nigga.
Yeah,
Like for real. Like y'all niggas and that's some bitch shit. Like, yeah, man, do you got this? Do you got that? Do you got this? And then if you turn around and then you slap them with all that other shit, then these niggas never know how to stop because they can't. It's like a dude, if you get into a fight with him and then you whoop his ass, even because you weren't supposed to be able to beat his ass, now he want to come with a gun. Even though, like, for real.
Same dudes. Same dudes. They want to be better than you in every fucking way, and then when they find out, they handle it in a most irrational way.
And it
In a
ain't
way,
even, and it ain't even just like me or something like that. It could be just in general. You got dudes that really get off on trying to act like they better than other niggas.
yeah, and then that, and not only that, has that then been displayed with guys like Michael B. Jordan, guys like men like Kevin Samuels, rest in peace. But as any black man, is you got people that have whole channels off every time a black man stumbles, then those dudes are talking about that black man.
Now, if you saw, and this is, I'm gonna give you a tell. This is how you tell for y'all, because some people gonna be thinking that I'm talking about certain people. I'm gonna give you a tell. Those same motherfuckers, they won't play that game with white boys. They
No, not
won't
at
play
all.
that. They will not try to take something a white man covets. Like, they won't take a white bitch a white man covets. They won't pull that game on that. Because and oh well, you got some niggas, some big white dudes that they like being cut. Look, they go out of their way to find them dudes. I'm talking about dudes that don't like that. You won't do it because white men don't give a damn about your idea of masculinity. They'll come to you like 10-1. You see that with the cops. They don't give a damn. They,
Mm.
they because that's how they think of power. They like, no, what matters is I win. All this rules about me proving I'm a better man, y'all shit. Fuck that. That's some shit you were given so you can stay in your place. And this is the same. That's the same reason why a lot of these niggas are so comfortable trying to talk shit to other motherfuckers. But you put a white boy on here, and then they not like, they may talk about some racial shit, but they not gonna sit there and really compete mano on mano in their environment and shit like that. They're not gonna do that. They're not
Cause they,
comfortable with that because they know,
cause they
just like
drank the
with
Kool
black,
Aid. Cause they
because with
drank.
black, well, because with black women, they know that those rules are not the same there.
Cause they drunk the Kool Aid.
So
They've accepted the everyday Western culture narrative that we have fallen short.
yeah.
They,
So
they
anyway.
yeah. BL, thank you for the super chat. He said, "I noticed with successful brothers, their blackness is judged solely by the proximity to black women, blue collar all the way to entertainers."
Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, man, so and when it's just, I mean, honestly, I don't like the Lori Harvey situation. The thing, the only reason to me that's a big deal because that's like in the backdrop of other things that's happened. But real talk, the Lori Harvey, I mean, I mean, they're entertainers. What do you expect? He didn't do how, like, I need somebody to tell me how she did him wrong.
She probably did him a favor,
But
but
even
but
outside of that,
at the same time, celebrities go by a different standard. They go by a different set of rules.
yeah, I mean, like, how did she do him wrong? Like, honestly, she did Future because she abruptly got away from Future to the point where Future was tripping off of that for a minute. Like, so yeah, how did she do him wrong? I need to understand that. And it's just, oh, you find this man, you all of a sudden get married, yeah, and then you be like Will and Jada.
Yeah. I said that the other night. Shoot, it could have been Will and Jada 2.0.
Now she can date. Well, I don't say she can. I mean, at the end of the day, if that's what she want to do, she can do that, and then she can be judged on that too. But at the end of the day, man, she can do. I mean, Michael B. Jordan will be all right. I mean, in fact, she actually gave him. She actually dealt with that issue he had. It actually could have affected his money.
Mm.
Like, it really could have, especially in a pandemic thing. That could have definitely affected his reputation for the long term because Michael B. Jordan's ability is getting all black people, not just black men. Because black men are not that big of a demographic from a spending standpoint. So you do want to get the women if you're going to be judged on entertainer as far as market value and shit like that. So that helped. Um, so, and I'm not saying that's why he got with her. I'm just saying that was what it was. So I'm saying they mutually got shit out of the relationship. She got some clout. He sold up, a political thing. It is what it is, and they enjoyed each other's company. I mean, I don't know what's this. Women are just supposed to kiss the ass. Like that's not how it is. She's a socialite. She's gonna do what socialites do.
Hmm. Mm. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. And at the end of the day, both of them are going to be okay. I mean, whether you want to say that Michael B. Jordan was looking sad at a basketball game or not, shit, I don't see, and no, no homo or anything like that. I don't see any point where he's not going to be getting attention from any females. I mean, even if you want to base that upon his celebrity status or whatever, he's going to be. Both of them are going to be okay by the end of the day. So I'm not really mad at either one of them. It's just that there's a bunch of people all over social media saying stupid shit, and some of that needs to be cleaned up.
Motherfuckers were just mad at Lori. Well, a lot of women were just mad at Lori Harvey because she said how she lost weight and why she lost weight. So you go from that to all things are equal and it looks like you got over on a black man. Like you got a lot of insecure folks. Like it's some folks. It's like it's white noise, and sometimes you gotta take it at that. You really do. Like you got motherfuckers mad that Chloe Bailey said that she like older dudes. Like, and I'm older dudes could be dudes that are like my age because she's only 23 or like my age or 40. I mean, like, motherfuckers, you got people that social media is their world. And I'm on social media more than most because I actually find people as far as my stuff there. But you got people that, like, they've been in the metaverse.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man, that people are always just trying to find something to be mad about because it's like as soon as they broke up, you're right, they forgot about how mad she was that she lost weight. And I'm sitting up here like, I mean, the only thing I had to say about that is she really didn't need to do that, but okay, she's still a good looking woman.
She did that because that's what she wanted to do. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess that's the body type, and that's the argument. That's the thing too that I said then. I'm like, this is a woman that lost it because she wanted to lose it.
yeah,
Because if he was really about to marry her, then clearly it wasn't like, well, bitch, you lose 15 pounds and we'll close the deal. He didn't care. I mean, like for real, that's what she wanted to do.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And a lot of people were upset because they felt as if she did it for him.
which wouldn't have been an issue. But this is how retarded people are.
Hmm.
And even they're bad at Melanie King right now because she said you should cater to your man. So light skinned chick saying that, oh no,
Man,
you know.
man, Cardi B said that shit a while back. That men like women to do certain things, and then old feminist nation went after her for that shit.
So
Boy,
you got folks that they really on it's crazy out here. And if you know how to use it to your benefit, if you're willing to do that, I mean, you can get a lot of money out here. Because these people be really thinking that you solving political problems like y'all on social media and that Roe v. Wade about to get turned over. So social media ain't fix that shit. Maybe some of y'all need to get y'all fucking priorities straight,
mm,
and stop trying to cancel motherfuckers and look at these fucking politicians. But that ain't none of my business, now is it?
politics. Yeah, yeah, I do understand that uh, that maybe we do need to get more involved in the political process so we can assert our positions a little bit better instead
Well,
of.
the problem with men is you got too many niggas that's still on the plantation. So really, we still got an awareness issue because you can't go political unless you get dudes on the right page as far as basic shit. Like for instance, you got niggas that'll argue with you about 50-50 custody by default. You got niggas that argue with you about paternity, a mandatory paternity test. And I'm not talking about like 5 or 10%. I'm talking about a sizable amount of men on the basic shit. Like stuff that really it shouldn't even be a conversation.
Mm,
But not like the more, oh, you're red pill. No, like the basic stuff. That you like it's like dudes out believe they don't you do you believe you deserve any rights as a man at all? Like, do you believe that? Like Bill of Rights? These niggas be like, well, man, if you do the right thing, the right. Then niggas will be like, why do y'all let these niggas on the panel? It's because them niggas reflect most of the niggas out there. They
Yeah,
just bold enough to say it, and I give them respect for that. Man, I was talking to Spurgo. Spurgo came up on my shit, and you know what Spurgo said? Because they were talking about swag. We were arguing about swag. He said, "Well, if Lori Harvey picked the white boy, it's because his whiteness is his swag." I'm like, and exactly, they don't mean jack shit. It means whatever the bitch picked. That's what y'all call it. Meaning that has no real meaning. And
yeah,
he was just bold enough to actually say it, and I appreciate that because that's what a lot of these motherfuckers think. She told me, and I call it swag. I'm like, oh my god.
okay, so what do you believe? What do you believe? Why would she choose your boy like a white dude? Like, I just need to ask you just for clarity.
I mean, because for her, I mean, it seems like she's dating folks for like marketing purposes. Honestly, I
Yeah,
don't even know. I don't even take that shit serious with Lori Harvey. To be honest with you, like I said, Michael B. Jordan, she was with probably she was with him longer than anybody else. Everybody else, she's like serial dating. So it's almost like. Plus, he's like the new resident white boy. Like how Justin Timberlake was,
yeah,
except he ain't as famous as Justin Timberlake. He like that. Basically what these black women. If I can get a white boy, this is what it is, and he getting money off that. So that's what that is. That's what I think. I
yeah,
don't think it means anything. As far as a commentary on Michael B. Jordan, I don't even think it's like people just read too much into that, and people know it is. They're going
yeah,
to. Hmm.
yeah. They just need something to talk about. Plus, they'll carry it out of context, like, oh man, her going after a white dude somehow ruins it for black men, and black men got to take this L because she went for the white boy next. No, not exactly.
She did what most of y'all can't understand. Lori Harvey's what, like an eight? I've always said eights, nines, and tens don't even count in the general dating market because they can do shit. Her getting a white, they can do shit y'all can't do. Number one, and number two, like it ain't that big of a deal. Like so, she takes an L if he goes back to Latin chicks. I mean, does Dale Curry's ex wife take an L because Dale Curry showed up? He showed up with a white chick, even though he should have been able to do better than that. My point is, that's y'all insecurities. I mean, that like you got to remember, they're in a hyper liberal environment. They don't look at race like that. Not when it comes to fucking.
No, no, that's something that we do.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
y'all, yeah.
that's people love to dick police black men. Just to have something to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, y'all really be out here. Y'all really fall in this fantasy like black women don't be fucking some of these white dudes or be on them. Y'all just don't pay attention to it. It's kind of y'all got a don't ask, don't tell policy when it comes to that. Which it really doesn't. It's not like that's the reason black men have less sexual access. So black men don't really care. So, but dudes be really believing that there's a lot of black women that they are attracted to black men and stuff like that, but they really try to act like anyway. It's
Yeah, Michael G. Thank you for the super chat. He said David Carroll said it long ago. Rest in peace, David Carroll. Black women worship whiteness. If I was married to a black woman, I'd sleep with one eye open. Jeez, bro,
I
you
mean,
ever?
it ain't, yeah, because some of y'all be saying some hyperbolic shit. I mean, my thing is this: if you know what dudes need to start doing more, and it's regardless of what women you say. I say it all the time: do not go red pill for black women, only be blue pill for non-black women. Because non-black women, because they're dealing with dudes that will check the shit out of them in as a group. They have to learn how to move through shit a lot more strategically versus black women can just blitz, 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 blitz. So y'all will get with these non-black women. Y'all wind up like Tim Duncan and shit. Not paying attention to shit until she got you and then the carpet's pulled. I'm not saying that to protect black women. I'm saying that for y'all not to do nothing stupid. Because this how a lot of these Africans come over here dealing with black women and they get fucked because they be like, oh, it's like this, it's not like that, or these dudes ain't men. The thing y'all need to focus on is what type of woman are you looking for? What do you need them to do as far as why you with whoever you with, and then are they within bounds of what that is? Most dudes they just with a chick that'll have them, so they don't really have a certain centerpiece of are you doing the right thing or not doing the right thing based on what I want you to be doing within a certain range. They just are just going with the flow. That cruise control bullshit.
Mm, mm. What black men need to really do is act within common sense. Like you
Yeah.
say, be pragmatic.
And
You
that's
know,
why they get all extreme and shit. Oh, I sleep with them. I date African American women. As soon as if they act up, I'm out. You
yeah,
know?
yeah. Well, that's one of the advantages of being unmarried, being uncommitted.
Yeah.
A lot of people try to use that as a disclaimer for you not to say anything, but shit, there's a lot. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of unmarried dudes on this platform that says a lot of things that make sense as far as relationships.
Man, most black
Eh,
men are not like they should be married now. Like this idea about people being, and you notice how the women are never qualified that way. It's just another way of. I always see that is that's how I know you can't beat the argument because you run into that. That's all that is to me. So that's a tell. Because if you really could just knock down the argument, you just would. You wouldn't do all that sideways bullshit. But people can think what they want to think, just like our motherfuckers talking about, oh man, when things get hard, black people are just gonna start cohabitating again. Yeah, that may happen, but at the same time, folks, you shouldn't get with nobody just because of extreme circumstances. Because that exacerbates people being taken advantage of. That leads to violent situations. That leads with a lot of situations that are not good outcomes.
mm.
So
Yeah, I agree. Let's look at some of these comments. Oh, okay. Michael G. Once again. Thank you. Once again, thank everybody, for the support. Seriously, thank you for the super chats. I really appreciate it. He says, Kobe's non-black woman protected his legacy. Black men see with your own eyes, not the lenses of black men who silently simp for black women yet claim they are for black men. Mm.
yeah, I came on here to get my energy back. Yeah, you'd be surprised, and no, it worked. It worked, but I mean, y'all like black people kill me with that insecurity shit with the white. Oh, he got what she got with a white dude. I mean, like, what the fuck? Like, this is 2022.
Yeah, I mean, and let me tell y'all something. If black people really wanted to stay within the race, we would have, as a group, for the most part, we would have done what we needed to do to stay with the race. I mean, if you want a black woman, if you want a black man, and you end up getting one, that is fine. But due to all the division out here, I wouldn't be surprised if most of us dated out at this point. I mean, I'm glad I got married when I did. I did prefer a black woman. At one point in my life, it did not matter to me, but luckily I did find one, and she's pretty level. But at the same time, I wouldn't force that ideology on anyone else. I wouldn't, and it's not for the benefit of my security or the security of black women in general. Because is like, if social media is reflectant of how these females are for real, then I wouldn't put that on anyone. But of course, you guys are grown ass men, so I don't, I don't condemn you guys for dating out. I don't. And just like I'm not gonna go out of my way to condemn black women for dating out as well. I mean, because really, at the end of the day, it's none of my concern. But I will say this: all the dick policing is stupid. Like, shit. After this breakup, shit, a lot of people done went back to dick policing Michael B. Jordan, which does not make any
Well,
sense
yeah,
at all.
because it's like it's slavery. And even like people like Shannon Sharp are starting to push back against that because they think when you did that to like Bronny James, people got out of bounds. But for people that don't think the gynocracy exists, that's what I'm talking about. And I mean and that's gonna fix itself because these Z's are gonna start pushing back hard against that shit.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna start pushing back real hard against that shit. They're gonna be like, look, you better do what the fuck you need to do. But all this bullshit about you thinking I need to be dealing with you, or what they'll start to do, they'll start to elevate, folks like NBA YoungBoy even more to sharing chicks, like basically, 5, 7 baby mamas. I mean, y'all looking, but It is what it is. And here's the thing: y'all can pull that on celebrities, but y'all can't pull that on people in real life. That's just like people that's got money that ain't got they money and don't come from fame. That shit don't work. That shit only works on somebody like Michael B. Jordan and needs women to buy his shit. But even people that sell shit to women that don't, it ain't like out there like that, like famous wise, that shit don't work. So go ahead. I mean, I feel bad that he got to take it. He got to take the hit like that. But it is what it is. Because at the end of it, man, please.
Shout out to Shaka Nulu. I see you down there. Also, Prime VA 757, Jonathan Morgan, and um anyone that I haven't shouted out yet. Shoot, what's going on? But yeah, let me see. What I was talking about that I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah, and then I'm probably gonna bounce out.
Yeah, because I'm about to bring this to a close in a little bit. Something else, but I forgot. Maybe we can save it for another broadcast. But yeah, you say for the most part that black men can handle the truth, but there are many truths that we don't like. Is there one that you can think of offhand that we haven't discussed that I haven't really brought up?
Um, I mean, the
Like,
truth that your women run your ass. I mean, technically, we've been talking around it, but that's the truth. The truth, you in a fucking gynocracy. That's the truth.
Mm,
Niggas don't like that shit, and they try to get around it in a lot of different ways. They try to joke around it. They try to act like I'm being hyperbolic. They try to do the same thing with white supremacy. Ain't no white man supreme over me. And I'm like, nigga, that's not what I'm talking about, and that's not really what white supremacy is.
that's that chest beating. That's that chest beating that we like to talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah, it's like nigga, I get all the bitches. You mean whatever, man.
Like everything is so based on how many bitches you get. Like, no, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is if it were up to that white boy, is it something that you're going to really go against at the end of the day? Now, I'm from Alabama. Like, I have no problem looking a white guy in the eye and telling him what his place is. And anybody that grew up with me know that I'm telling the truth. There have been white dudes that have been on this panel in the past, and I'm like, I kind of let them know that look, learn your place when you're amongst us. There's many things that you cannot comment on. Now, I cannot say that for other panels. I heard there was one panel in particular where white dudes said that they would just that we dominate you. We're smart. Something to that context there. We're winning because we're smarter than you. Now they didn't have me on that panel, but I wouldn't have let that slide one little bit.
Oh, I would have told. I mean, I wish they would say some shit like that. I'm like, yeah, then solve your fucking replacement problem since you're so fucking smart.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
by the way, export that to them to the Europeans because they got it worse off than y'all because they got a whole bunch of Muslims about to replace their ass. Since you're so smart, I would have said it just like that.
Shit, feminism is pushed by your women.
Which
know.
is which is another thing. They try to act like they conveniently act like isn't true. Like it's really a class warfare. It's a soft shoe class warfare tactic. But see, I don't really go that deep with it. But I know. I see people
Man,
always say like, "Oh man, you only blame the women." I'm like, no, the women are the manifestation of the problem. It's kind of like blaming. It's kind of like knowing poverty creates crime. But motherfucker, if you robbing me right now, I'm not about to be worried about the overall political aspect that led to this bullshit. I'm handling that shit the way that needs to be handled right now. Or like scamming, it's because you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I get that. There's levels to it, but that's not what dudes are really dealing with right now. As far as what's in their face, and you got to address that part first. Just like when you say you got to stabilize somebody, like oh man, there's internal bleeding, but this motherfucker's dying right now. You got to stabilize that first, and then you deal with the next thing. But people forget about it's just like when people say, well, you only talk about the winning because you afraid of the white man. No, just like with a team, if you're a team and you say you want to win some fucking games or get to the playoffs, what do you got to handle first? The fucking
man,
culture of the team.
I see that as complete projection. Is like that usually comes from people who are scared of white people themselves. You know,
So
you say
yeah,
that because you say that because you're scared of white. You pick on us because you're scared of white men. I'm like that's not nearly true. And I see that as a person who has accepted white supremacy and has and see white people as superior. I don't see them as superior. I just like I said, and this was a value that was passed down to me from my own father. It's like every white man you come across, you shake their hand with a firm grip and you look them dead in their fucking eye. And that, and he been teaching me that ever since I was a kid. I do that. I've been doing that ever since I was a child. I don't do eyes to the floor with the motherfuckers. Never. You know.
yeah, I'm short, so that's always. I don't be want to look up at
I
no
mean,
nigga either. No, I get what you. No, I know what you're saying. But
I
it's
mean,
that's a yeah, it's a uppity light skinned niggas. They get used. Honestly, they more used to that from us anyway because that's how they logically tell it in their mind. They don't get as because I've seen like other dudes do that shit and they boy that threat level goes up. Yeah, I mean, you feel
yeah.
it is. It be
You
that's that in their mind. That's what they be thinking, like for real.
You scared of the white man. That's why you pick on. No, no, that ain't true. If you shut the fuck up and,
Yeah,
and I mean, you act like you got some goddamn sense,
yeah.
you would be having to say dumb shit like that.
You know you on YouTube too much because I be because all smart TVs obviously. So and I got like two TVs in one room because some of them act as monitors and shit. You watching YouTube too much when you watching like those videos where it say drive downtown Miami
Mhm.
or walk downtown Miami
Oh
or
shit.
walk like Chicago. No, you should check it out. Drive Toronto, especially if it's a city you ain't been in. You trying to like get the feel of it down there, or like the drones with like over the Bermuda Triangle. You'd
Well,
be
shit.
surprised. We get some good videos off of that. It's
Yeah,
good
yeah,
background music, good
yeah,
background shit.
yeah. It is a great content strategy.
Yeah, sometimes I'll play y'all shit in the background just for the chat. Because I like I said, I work from home. Like for real, not and y'all get the watch time, but because I can't have it because I'll have it on silent, so people be responding to me. I'll be like, "Yo, I can't hear you." So I say, "Look, I'm just here for the chat." And then I'll be having multiple chats up. Like I'll be have my iPad, my Surface. I got two screens, so I could have my Xbox on, with the YouTube there. So I be it'd be like a damn bat cave. Like I know
Yeah.
all y'all niggas. So why y'all think I see when y'all niggas say some hoe ass shit about me? That and people that, despite me telling them not to, always email me. See what this nigga said about you? I said, if you ain't screenshot it, my thing is if they don't put my name in the title, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, y'all can say what the fuck y'all want to say. Y'all got it right.
but
Just when I search my name,
that's name recognition though. I mean, even if it's like they had this saying, bad publicity is still publicity. I mean, even if they trying to, shit on your name like that, they're still giving you airtime. You obviously live in their brains more than they live in yours.
oh wow.
But at the same time, you do have a right to respond to that shit.
Yeah, but that becomes like a rabbit hole. I've learned.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I honestly, I need to remodel. I've been talking about remodeling my channel for a while, and I need to stop being lazy about it. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like to do interviews a lot because I know people gonna be like, "What's this dusty ass shit?" They come over here, like my shit is like the never ending story. Basically, what I'm talking about that day. I'm actually thinking about creating some resources as well, like some known Edward Anderson isms like financially transmitted disease, vaginal positioning system, shit like that, put in a list because I'll be forgetting this shit for real.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, that definitely, man. Whatever you got to do to further your presence, man.
yeah, and another thing too, shout out to Celebrity too. I know these them bitches be staying on her ass 'cause they mad.
They mad.
They stay mad. That's why we trying to knock her shit down, But yeah, it's been man, God, man, we're 6 months in, man. It's been an interesting 6 months, man. Because I still remember like what I thought this year was gonna be in the beginning, and to be honest, Obviously nobody predicted what would happen as far as people passing. And that was David Carroll too. It's a couple of people now. But a lot of people are growing. It's just it's time for, you, me, and other people to start growing as well. So that's
Yeah.
one reason I need to remodel the channel so I can more broaden it out to certain, well, still our shit, but like when I do the trending stuff, I can, they got a channel to come to, not know like shit, my car and yeah, so
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, like, well, it's. I mean, people still, you still able to tune people in, though. I mean, but I get what you're saying. It's like if we're gonna take this to the next level, we need to do some things to make our
yeah,
product more attractive.
yes, yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, and yeah, I've taken that consideration for my channel. Getting a better mic, maybe getting the camera set up, getting a getting my setup looking good, so I can actually go on camera and do these broadcasts with people actually seeing me talk instead of just me talking through an avatar. Although people have seen my face before, I don't have really anything to hide for real. But it's because you know if we want to be taken seriously, like yeah, people watch me. They already pretty much take me seriously, So I guess, but it's we want to take this. This is an opportunity for all of us here in the space in the Black Manosphere. So
No, it is, and like I said, it is. The market is getting stronger. I mean,
yeah,
I could name a whole bunch of people. Like Shiz's head is growing. Jr. Wisdom is like in this space. Like comes from our space. He's growing. So all people talk about like what we doing is dead and all of that. No, that stuff is starting to get distributed. So it's time for people to start eating off of that. And I know I could build this without showing my face. Because the thing about me showing my face, it has nothing to do with me not wanting to show my face. It's more so I want that to be associated with other stuff as far as other parts of YouTube,
yeah,
right? And it's not about me not standing on what I say, but at the end of the day, I've shown my face, but that ain't go. I ain't go brand it that way. And if it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I really don't need, like I said, like even those uploads I did, that shit works. And I've looked at those videos, some of those videos, like out of like the 5 I did, like one kind of popped. And I know if I keep doing them, they will pop. I just got to get in a more consistent speed. Like one thing I'm gonna start doing too is when I show up on other people's channels, I'm gonna start clipping that shit. Now, clearly, I'll link back to who the original person is and shout them out and all that. But like my time there, I'm gonna clip that, and what I'll probably do some edits to it, like add some like little cool edits to it and shit like that. Like it, to make it kind of fun, so it's not just me clipping it, but it's another way for people to see what happened and stuff like that, and it's another way for me to low key share somebody else's shit. So I'm very excited about the next. My channel is called. Just type in Edward Anderson, it'll pop up. I'm very excited to see where stuff is coming from. Going to actually, I am. Some things that happen has been good, bad, a little bit of ugly. But even where the general conversation is going, a lot of people are being seen. Even like just social media in general, like that Johnny Depp, like fucking Johnny Depp case was good for social media as well. As far as YouTube, there's a lot of winners out of that. So um and you're starting to see the podcast networks really starting to coalesce. So it's I mean, obviously the economy is like what the fuck, which by the way is gonna have even more people try to come on here to get a lick.
oh
But
yeah. Yeah, and the trend is trending toward podcasts because you see a lot what a bunch of these celebrities are doing. Especially the ones that's kind of ramped down in their own lane, in their lanes that they were in. They're starting podcasts. So I mean, this is a great time to be a podcaster. I mean, hate on the shit all you want.
yeah, and the thing about it is people think of like what we do. Our stuff is it can be adjacent to a lot of things. Like you got the trending news kind of stuff, this like more urban hip hop kind of stuff. You've got the sports part. You've got what they do off the court. There's a lot of different things that you can. I mean, even the barbershop stuff. There's a lot of different things that can kind of. People just don't think about it that way. And there's a lot of like even when it comes to the what now solution, like business stuff. You got people talking about crypto. Obviously, crypto is down. Ain't nobody saying to run any mouth about it. But I ain't gonna kick nobody when they down. Cause honestly, if crypto drop a little bit more, I may start buying some shit. if it keep dropping, because I ain't got investment in crypto
Ugh.
like that. So I've been waiting to get in. So that shit dropped low enough. I'm like, yeah, I just want to get in where I know it go below that.
Uh,
And 35 was my number, and I say, no, let me wait. Let me wait. And I was like, I'm
uh,
glad I waited. So even when because I'm very passionate about affiliate marketing. Obviously, you got the geekdom stuff. I know y'all do the Black Dimension, like between you and Art New Artisan. I need to
yeah,
start promoting that. You got Mace Taggart, who's relatively small, but he does the
it does the sports.
yeah, Lisa football. Yeah, so we got people that are passionate about other things,
Yeah,
and like I said, because I'm very passionate about the geekdom stuff too, but I'm not. I don't feel like starting that shit and expanding myself again. And then on top of that, it's already people doing that. So once I get a good feel, because it doesn't share y'all videos and y'all do that on my stuff for some reason, even though I'm subscribed, I'll make sure I share that stuff, because even with like Star Wars, Star Trek, you know, yeah. So anyway, I'm about to bounce out, man, because
word. And thank you for coming by again, once again, making things interesting around here. Really appreciate it.
no, absolutely, man. All right, man. Peace out.
All right, peace out. And look, listen, yeah, I'm about to bounce myself, but I'm just gonna just say this. Just look, this like I just got through saying to Edward, and I'm gonna say to you guys, this whole podcasting thing, this is a great opportunity, and the fact that people try to diminish it and try to put it down, those are the motherfuckers you don't need to pay attention to, because they be watching this shit too, and it gets to a ridiculous point. But the truth is a slippery slope, and we just have to learn how to deal with it. I mean, I wasn't capping when I said I've been dealing with the truth all of my life. Now, that's gonna be it for now. I will see you guys tomorrow night, and definitely thank you for all the super chat support. I really appreciate it, and get those likes up. And for those of you who aren't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. But I gotta go get me some dinner right now. So, thank you very much. Long live the habitual line steppers, and Kev, we trust. I'm gonna win, and when that happens, we will all win. Peace out.